came down to Florida after painting in the north for so many years, one of the things that impressed me the most was all the wonderful different palm trees and foliage they had down here. So I started painting palm trees even before the moving van was out of the driveway up home. And it wasn't not until we got down here and started to look around that I discovered that I wasn't the only one who had been impressed by painting Florida foliage, that a lot of artists paint this way. A couple more examples of what impressed me when I came down. Now, obviously, these aren't portraits of a particular tree I looked at. They're kind of a composite of parts of palm trees that I arranged in such a way as to make a good composition and a good design, as well as being an interesting painting. And so that's really at the heart of what I do. Every painting has a focal area called a focus, and it has supporting other things in the painting to help it stand out and become eye-catching because of its important position or its contrast in the painting. I don't have the paperwork for this one up here. My wife and I were out for a drive the other night, and we went over to where the polo club is, and there were these two individuals leading a group of horses just kind of leisurely down the road, and it was just so interesting to see. Now here the evening light was important, so I tried to show that in the warmth and the oranges that I have on the left, kind of behind the figures, and I just get that whole feeling of them kind of walking. Here I put them in the grass as opposed to the road, but have them walking towards us in the foreground. Just made an interesting composition with all those animals moving at once. You can see there's a little rough outline here of where things were going to go. And generally in watercolor I'll work from the top down, but I started with the sky area and then put in the distant mountains. And then I want that contrast because I think this strong contrast with these trees in the background will help to really make this all stand out. So by putting in some of my lighter values first and then going back with the darker values over top of it, I'm able to create the feeling that there's sunlight, early morning sunlight, on some of those trees. And I'll work towards the foreground. And I'm always impressed with watercolors that they have some breathing room in. You suggest things rather than spelling out every little detail. So in the watercolor painting, there are things that are very suggestive of a lot of trees in the background, but I don't get too concerned with a lot of details in those areas. Nor will I get a lot of concern here in the foreground. My concern will be in these wonderful contrasts that I'll establish here in the middle ground that will help to make my watercolors stand out.